project is the Freedom Project. The Fresh Eyes Foundation, in collaboration with the Ghana Prison Service, is addressing the challenges of poor mental health and well-being of inmates and staff that mitigates the primary objective of the Ghana Prison Service in reforming all manner of persons entrusted in their care. This collaboration will start with a pilot program and ultimately result in the operation of an efficient mental health service program under the Ghana Prison Service. Mental health disorders and poor well-being are important public health concerns worldwide. The frequency of these unfortunate states of unwellness increases significantly in prisons. However, within the prisons, mental health illnesses are difficult to diagnose and manage because of the lack of facilities and technical know-how. The persistence of these problems leads to loss of productivity, increased treatment costs, increased mortality, and increased number of recidivists. The Fresh Eyes Foundation seeks to address the problem through the creation of an ambient environment for mental health and well-being in the prisons, early identification and treatment of issues of mental health and well-being among prison inmates and staff, provision of a self-esteem program to facilitate behavior change and knowledge transfer. The project has been named Freedom Project. Mental health disorders are important public health concerns worldwide. The frequency of these disorders increases significantly in prisons. The most reliable and exhaustive study conducted in the UK revealed that over 90% of prisoners aged over 16 years suffered from a mental illness. Though reliable data does not exist in Ghana, it is expected that the prevalence rate of mental health problems among prisoners in Ghana would be higher due to the prevailing worse conditions in the prisons here in Ghana. For instance, factors such as overcrowding, poor feeding, lack of privacy, lack of well-structured reformation and rehabilitation programs, and insecurity about prospects, among others, are common in the prisons of Ghana. Yet, there is lack of mental health services, the result of which there is often late or misdiagnosis of mental health illnesses, leading to their ineffective treatment among the prisons in Ghana. Due to the constant interchange between the prison and the broader community, unaddressed mental health needs of prisoners would increase incidence of reoffending, increase the number of people who return to prison, raise the level of incarceration of people with mental health issues, and ultimately increase the high cost of running prisons. Unaddressed mental health needs and the lack of improvement of the well-being of the prisoners have a negative impact on prison officers as well. This is because prisons are often a difficult and demanding working environment for all levels of staff. The presence of prisoners with undiagnosed and untreated mental disorders can further complicate and negatively affect the already appalling conditions in the prisons, thereby placing a greater demand upon staff. The problem. At the prisons, mental health illnesses and disorders are difficult to diagnose and manage because of the lack of facilities and technical know-how. The persistence of these problems leads to loss of productivity, increased cost of treatment, increased mortality, and increased number of recidivists. The lack of mental health programs running at the prisons has debilitating effect on the prisoners and prison staff and the larger community. The aim of the Freedom Project is to identify issues of mental health and well-being among prisoners and staff, and help them to benefit from the treatment of management provisions to improve their quality of life. It is expected And we highly envisage that this project, when successfully implemented, will help improve the mental health and well-being of the numerous inmates of our prisons, thus improving their quality of life. The project will help the early identification of issues of mental health in the prisons for treatment, as well as among officers and their dependents in the prison communities. It is also expected that the success of this project will be sustained and eventually extended to